Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is Thursday, March 26th. Look where we at. Look what we doing. Look how we doing stuff and things. Look at us. We in the building. I'm Delia Jackie Hope Glass, Mama, Navy vet, certified doer, and the laced up legislator for the House of Delegates, 93rd District. Honored. Let me just tell you, honored to serve. And I mean that. I mean that with all that I can muster, it is an honor to serve. Um, I'm telling y'all this. Let me do a couple things after I do my good mornings. Number one, remember that this whole thing that I do, if you're new to the morning do for certified doers, I started this prior to getting elected, coming on Thursdays and just giving people an update because we had some, quite frankly, fuck shit happening in our city. And I was like, yo, I'm coming on every Thursday and I'm giving y'all an update as to what's happening. So it has continued for years at this point, doing the morning dew. And really, it's not about, what is meant to be is an opportunity for people in the community to get some time to share their thoughts, to ask their questions, do all the stuff and things. So this is your time. If you want to join in on the morning dew, please just drop it in the comments and I can send you the link to join us on here. If you have questions, comments, anything, drop it in the comments and then I can put you on. But this is a privilege. this is this is a privilege of time that I got being able to do this. Good morning, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and put my as I put my banner up here because I'm committed to something right now that absolutely needs to be said. We need to tap in. We need to lock in on this redistricting thing, and I'm gonna have to keep talking about it and keep talking about it until we all get on the same page of understanding. Right? It is always in this office. I have principles. Right? The principles that we stand on is we are here to educate, advocate, celebrate, then legislate. We don't do any of those. We do it in that order. We educate first, right? That is a mutual thing. That is reciprocal, meaning I get schooled all the time. I got a call the other day where somebody was like, Jet, da 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 da. And I was like, I ain't even know. Thank you. So, advocate. When we educate each other very well, we become better advocates on the things that matter. If you put me on to something that I had no idea about, then you just made me smarter in the room. And so sometimes people think it's a flex, think it's like I just know stuff. But the reality of it is that I have access to people who know about their lives and what they're going through, who are willing to share that information with me to do better. So educate, advocate. That makes us both better advocates. And when I can tell you what's going on, which we're about to do today about the lines on the map, all that stuff, when I can tell you what's going on, that means you can go out to the streets and reach more people than I can to do the damn thing. We celebrate our small wins because I'm telling you, wins don't come often and they don't always come big. So us getting up this morning, doing this thing together, that's a win. Thank you. High five. We did it. we got up. I don't know what brought you here, but you here. You here, and we doing it. Um, and again, like I said, celebrate the small wins, and then we legislate. That is when I go take things to action. If I don't do those first three things, I am not legislating from a place of the most truth and understanding that I can for my community. Fair? Is that fair? And all of those principles are based in a vision. The vision statement for our office is we believe in a commonwealth. Well, it doesn't matter if you're from here, come here, or passing through here. You deserve to feel safe, supported, and empowered to improve your quality of life, period. Right? And empowered is the key word because I can't do it all. If I could, we'd be in a different place, but I can't. So that's where we're at. Okay. And I need us to be very clear on that. All right, with that, I'm gonna say it again. You guys can join in on this conversation as much as you like. It is your space and place as well. I need y'all to put this on your calendars. Lock this in. All right, lock this in. Lock this in. Every year, I have done this thing at the Norfolk International Airport called Fly Norfolk. Well, it was used to be called Norfolk Can Fly. Now it's called Fly Norfolk. It brings in, so if you don't know, my spouse is an air traffic controller and he's really great at it. Ding. It's why I'm able kind of to do the work that I do is because he does his job really, really well. And I thought I wanted to create a space where people can see the breadth of kind of folks in aviation. So we get a hangar at Norfolk International Airport, and we get a hangar, and we have people from all different walks of aviation. We have virtual reality there from the spaceport. Did you know Virginia has a spaceport authority? Right, there's like a space station. It's not NASA, but there's one out on the eastern shore, and we've got air traffic controllers. We've got youth uh, aviation programs. We have pilots that fly their aircraft in, so you can sit in somebody's aircraft. Sometimes Centera Nightingale comes, those ones who do the helicopter for the medical emergency. Sometimes Wavy 10 comes. It just depends on their availability, because life happens. So it's a real cool opportunity to see different layers at the airport. Last year we did tours around where people could hop in a van and actually ride around the airfield, which was pretty dope, I thought. Hey, good morning, Hartford Noble, which was pretty dope. So lock the date, April 18th, from 10 to 2. It is an all ages event, right? If you are a grown person, you're going to have a good time. If you are a person that's just now learning how to talk, you're going to have a good time. You're going to have a good time. It is. And I am so grateful and shocked sometimes shocked at how good it goes off. All right. So that's that. Again, I'm about to get into it. So if you are here for the good word, we're about to start. All right. So y'all know, it drop in the comments right now, because I'm getting a banner together, like what you know about redistricting, or what is confusing you the most about this whole redistricting thing. Like, I get all kinds of calls like, Jackie, I don't know. Drop yours in the comments, and I'll answer as much as I can. Add banner. All right, we're gonna show this redistricting. What up with that? Like, what's up with that? What's up? I feel like that's a guy on Saturday Night Live. I don't know if I might be a little old. He go, ooh wee. What's up with that? What's up with that? I think Kenan Thompson does it. All right, so let's get it. You ready? All right, so here is the deal, and I need everybody to kind of put their heads in the right place on this, right? Good people. I want to do, or at least I want us to do what I feel like grown folks do who care about democracy are supposed to do, right? If you really care about this fragile thing called democracy, I think there's something you're supposed to do. We need to slow down for a second. We need to read the fine print. We need to cut through all of the freaking foolishness and talk plainly about what's happening in Virginia right now as it affects the national conversation, okay? What I've seen over the past little bit is a lot of people are calling this redistricting fight, essentially. And I love the way BZ, a gentleman named, and I posted his article in my bio, but BZ said it's a redistricting war. It is quite literally is. It is its own kind of civil war, because it is going to change the tide of what happens in these United States. Should we should we sit down and just, take whatever this is, right? Redistricting fight, it is a whole bunch of things, right? And some of them are using sort of, some people are using big feelings to cover up small facts. So let's really get into it. On April 21st, 2026, a couple days after flying Norfolk, Virginians will vote on a constitutional amendment. So if you live in Virginia, this is for you. If you're in these United States but not in Virginia, you need to understand this from the place of how it can affect whether or not whatever your state decides to do, if it's nothing, but how it can affect the national landscape. So April 21st, 2026, we're going to vote on a constitutional amendment that's going to ask a very specific question. whether the Virginia General Assembly should be allowed to temporarily adopt new congressional districts for the upcoming election and then return them to the standard redistricting process after the 2030 census, right? Early voting already started on March 6th. Shout out to March 6th, my birthday. Okay. And that is not a rumor. None of this is a rumor. It is not a spin. That is what is going to be on the ballot. Whether or not the Virginia General Assembly should be allowed to temporarily adopt new congressional districts for the upcoming election and then return to the standard redistricting process for the 2023 census. We have an independent commission, and redistricting is how we draw the lines, right? It's how we draw the lines for who represents you. So at the state level, and here's what we forget, that we are co-equal, not co-equal, we have different branches of government. And the branch that I sit on, the branch that I represent as a member of the House of Delegates, we are responsible for drawing congressional lines, drawing state district lines. That's like our thing. So Congress doesn't even get to draw their lines. We draw them. Okay, does that make sense? So I want to pause right there in understanding the responsibility of a state legislature. I also want to put this responsibility in there because sometimes people forget. We also pick judges. Like, that's how important this job is. Like, I don't take being a delegate lightly. So we're drawing the lines based off the census map, right? To make sure equal, fair and equal representation, that no one person is representing an outsized amount of people than another person, right? That's what we do. It's called apportionment. It's how the census is how we decide where money goes, how lines get drawn, to where schools get built, where hospitals are, all of that good shit. So like, that's something that you just need to know off top. So pause right there. And that means, right, this vote means this is not about whether redistricting exists, because it exists. It's a thing we do every 10 years already. Every census. And this is why I hope now people will take their census so seriously. Take your census seriously. Every 10 years, they like, where you at? You're supposed to tell them where you at, so that we know that that place has people, and those people need resources and money, whatever, and that you have equal representation. It is not about whether redistricting exists. Redistricting already exists. Every state with congressional, right, Congress, that's the federal levels, congressional districts, has to redraw lines at some point. The real question that we're dealing with in these United States, more specifically Virginia right now, is who gets to do it, when they do it, and under what political conditions do they do it. So here's the first lesson about redistricting, gerrymander. They are not the same word. Redistricting and gerrymandering are not the same word. I am pretty much breaking down this article from BZ. Okay, this article, what I'm breaking down is the article, and the article is in, the link is in my bio. So if you are a reader and you want to go back and look, I think there's one small mistake in the article that says we have 13 districts and we have 11. That's it. That's the only thing. Everything else spot on. So let me help you understand. You're hearing this word redistricting thrown around. You're hearing this word gerrymandering thrown around. Those are not the same things. Redistricting is the process. Gerrymandering is the abuse of the process. Is that fair? Got it? Redistricting is the process. Gerrymandering is the abuse of said process. And what this whole country is on the edge of right now is not that lines are being discussed, right? Like, it's not that lines are being discussed. It's that we are watching a mid-decade map war unfold. Not after a census where we figure out where people are. We're just trying to make sure everything's equal, but in the middle of the cycle, because both parties understand that control of the U.S. Congress can be turned on a handful of districts. The Dems understand it. The Republicans understand it. Everybody knows this shit. Like, we know it, that it's a handful of districts that decide who controls the House of Representatives. So when somebody says, like, this is just local politics, baby, it is not just local politics. It is not just state politics. This is a state by state power fight with national consequences. I'm going to say this again. This redistricting thing is a state by state national fight with a state by state power fight with national consequences. Here's that national piece in the backdrop that I need you all to kind of understand. In Texas, Governor Greg Abbott called a special election beginning July 21st, 2025. So that's last year, right? So Texas, here we go. Sorry if you're from Texas, but y'all be playing too much. So the Texas Republicans later enacted new congressional maps that that observers could help the GOP gain like 5 seats. Right, GOP. If you know what GOP is, stands for Grand Old Party. It's the other name for the Grand Old Party is the other name for the Republicans, right? So the people who did it, the observers, said that it could help. They said it could help them gain about 5 seats. So Abbott signed it into law on August 29, 2025. So here we go. Texas doing their thing. Texas like, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. Then your president came out, was like, find me some seats. Homeboy was like, find me some seats. Some of these states, because he cannot, remember, we are co-equal branches of the government. I'm going to say this again. Congress does not work for the president. The Supreme Court does not work for Congress. The president does not work for Congress. Congress does not work for the judicial branch or the Supreme Court. Like, these are co-equal branches of government. Civics 101. I just need y'all to know this. I'm going back through this because y'all need to do it, and we're going to take you through that, okay? So in North Carolina, the Republicans, they approved a new congressional map in October 2025 that was reported could help the GOP pick up another seat in 2026. Now, remember, this is a executive power overreach. The executive branch was like, find me some seats. Like, that's not how it works, because we are not supposed to be redistricting mid-decade. Remember what I told you? Every 10 years, we do that thing called the census. It's so important for you to do. But what's happening is folks started doing this redistricting thing before the census. Now in Ohio, y'all. Okay, so in Ohio, a new map was approved in October 2025 that was widely described as likely helping Republicans move from 10 Republican seats, 5 Dem seats, to 12 Republican seats, 3 Dem seats. And through that, because that came through their redistricting commission rather than okay, so I'm trying to widely describe. So what they did was, and though that did come through, so they did do this. Let me backtrack. Ohio did do this through a redistricting commission rather than some unilateral legislative steamroll, because that's what unilaterally some of these legislators are doing, that instead of having a commission do it, like sensible people. Like sensible people. That's part of the problem too, right? And in Missouri state, we're about state by state power fight that has national consequences. So Missouri's Midwestern ass, and I'm saying that as a Midwesterner, right? Ohio, Missouri, here we go. In Missouri, the Republican-led push for a new map was upheld by the Missouri Supreme Court this week. And some news outlets have already reported that finds the Republicans' chance of winning one more seat in the U.S. House of Representatives. So again, a state-by-state power fight that has national implications. I already told you that the House is won by a few seats. House, right now, the problem recently can't just steamroll through some things is because he doesn't have a big enough majority in the legislative branch to just do whatever the fuck he wants to do, because that's the goal. He doesn't have it. Hold on, let me make sure we're good. Okay, I'm just making sure the internet is good. right? So he does not have that. He is trying to get that, right? So all of that happened because the president was like, please give me what I want. Give me what I want. So then in Cali, right? In California, let's have a party. California did the thing that nobody else, no GOP state majority California did, was get the voters a proposition called Proposition 5 in November, this last November, a special election. They gave the voters the chance to be the official they did an official statewide vote that passed with 51% of the voters supporting, that said it was in response to what they were seeing escalating, right? Ensuring that the GOP and that the president had everything that he wanted. Is my internet cracking up? Tell me if it is, please, because I feel like it's doing a whole thing. Am I good? Can you guys hear me? Because I had to use my mobile hotspot this morning. So you tell me, are we good? Can somebody give me a thumbs up if we're good? Thumbs up. Am I good? Am I good? I'm looking. I'm looking, making sure I feel like I keep, okay, great. Thank you, Miss Donna. I appreciate you. All right. So look, California did what nobody else did. They gave it to the voters. And that's the same thing Virginia is trying to do. So when the Virginia Democrats argue that this amendment is in response to a broader national escalation, that part is not made up. That is an actual, this is an actual battlefield. I'm going to run that. You got story. All of these people was like, we want he wants to have, he should be able to control, have that positive control over the legislative branch, the judicial branch, and the executive branch. And let me tell you, that is not how this works. That is not how we designed it. So if you just believe, if you even believe in the Constitution, you got a problem with this. Okay, now it's in and out. Okay, let me see. Let me see if I can change my internet thing and see it. Okay. Let's see if we're good here. All right. Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? I'm hoping I'm good now. I'm trying to see. Okay, that should be good. Okay. All right. I think that's good. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Okay. Thank you for hanging in here with me. A little cracked up. Thank you. Okay, thank you. A little cracked up. Now it's good. Hopefully we stay good here. All right. So like, I'm going to go back and say that, like, for real. So Virginia responded by giving them the voters the opportunity. And that is for real. That's for real. Like, giving the voters the opportunity is the biggest difference between what you see happening in Republican-led states and Democratic-led states. So let's get to Virginia. Now, we got to make Virginia make sense. I need y'all to notice so you can share with your people. Okay. Virginia currently has 11 congressional districts. And as of right now, the delegation for Virginia is 6 Democrats, 5 Republicans. And I know how that sounds, y'all. I already have a problem with the party system. It's the system that we're in, and I'm trying to do the most good with it as I possibly can. You got to pick a side. And that's what we're in. I don't know when it'll change, but it's a thing that I feel like fucks us all the time, but it's what we're dealing with, right? So it's a balance, but you got to pick your friends, pick your poison, right? The lesser of the two evils. So as of right now, in VA, we got 11 congressional districts, 6 Dems, 5 Republicans. The proposed redraw, backed by the Democrats right now, has been widely described as a potential 10-1 map. 10 Dems, 1 Republican. And that's why the referendum is so explosive. We are heavily, so I am a gun owner, okay? And I'm going to use a gun analogy here. Everybody picked up their pistol, right? Shots fired in Texas, right? Gain about 5 seats. Shots fired in North Carolina, pick up another seat. That's 6. Shots fired in Ohio, right? Picking up 2 seats. Boom. Shots fired in Missouri, picking up another seat. Boom. That's 9. Right? That's 9 seats in a house that is typically decided by 2 or 3 or 4. Somewhere between that and even 10 seats. So what they did was they doubled up, and Virginia was like, hell to the no, y'all. This is where democracy began. This is where it will be upheld in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And so we're like, nah, y'all cannot do that, because we are not in the business of becoming a monarchy. I want to be able to vote after 2026. And I'm not saying that to cause fear or panic, but like, that's the reality of where we're at right now. I want to be able to vote after 2026. Should Project 2025, the president, the sitting president, his backers have their way, they will make it really hard for me to vote. They will make it really hard for me to exist. And that is a selfish thing. And I need you to think about what's in it for you, because that's where we're at right now. The WIFM is important. What's in it for me? Okay. So the amendment was first approved by the General Assembly. So in October, we went into a special session and we're like, yup, we're going to give Virginia the chance to get in this fight. Again, the state-by-state power fight that has national implications. We said we're getting in it. We decided, right? The Democratic Party has a majority. We was like, yup, we're getting in this fight. We then went back in January because we have to approve that twice. But we have to have an election in between. In order to have a constitutional change, you've got to have the General Assembly vote on it. You've got to have an election in between, and then you got to vote on it again. So we voted on it in October before an election. The November election happened. We came back in January. We voted on it again. And then that is how we got it to you all, the voters, which is how constitutional amendments work. The Supreme Court of Virginia has allowed the referendum to go on for now, while there's still people challenging it legal. The difference is we did not unilaterally say, shove this down Virginia's throat and say, we doing this like other states. We, like California, said, we want to give y'all the option. Let us know if y'all want to pull out the big guns. Let us know if y'all want us to get in this fight, right? Y'all have to say it's okay. And I need y'all to say it okay. And I need you to find your selfish region. So I'm going to say this slowly, right? What we're doing, what the General Assembly in Virginia is doing, is not some secret midnight change. This is a public referendum on a temporary constitutional amendment that Virginians themselves will decide. Does it mean it's nonpartisan? Right? Does it mean it is nonpartisan? Be serious, right? Be serious. It means it is a fight. like it is a fight being placed before the voters, not just settled in our chamber in some back room, right? Of course, it is partisan right now. And that is an important distinction. But it is not the same thing as purity, right? This is hard. Know that I, as a legislator, I'm going to tell you, I was looking at this like, oh my God, we are going to erode democracy no matter what the fuck we do. That's what it feels like. Like there's an erosion of democracy no matter what we do. But we gotta make a decision, and people sent me here. And I used to know my vote total. I need to check from the last election how many people voted for me, but people sent me here to make these decisions. That's part of being a republic. And so with the hard, deep look into where this country could go, I am telling folks to vote yes, period. So here's what this means. A yes vote means you are authorizing the General Assembly to ensure the proposed new maps. Remember, I talked to you about those maps for 2026 congressional elections. that we could use those and then return the authority back to our Virginia standard redistricting system after the 2023 census. That is the official effect. Don't let them fool you and tell you we just do it, because that ain't true. So politically, a yes vote is being sold by supporters as a way, and I am one of them, as a way to keep Virginia from sitting still while other states redraw aggressively for a partisan advantage that we are arguing. My argument, too, is that refusing to respond while others are changing the map is a form of unilateral restraint in a fight where no one else is restraining themselves. No one else is restraining themselves. I mean, I'm not in the business of getting my ass whooped. Thank you, David James. 21,417 people voted for me. Thank you. Oh, I love this. I appreciate you telling me that, because I'd like to know. I used to know. I didn't check this last election. But that's what I'm saying. In that's the constitutional democratic republic side of this, is a fucking republic. And so you have leaders who go and they make decisions for you. And I don't always get it right. I don't always get it wrong either. But I can tell you that I do my damnedest to make sure I'm educated and show up and be a good representation of that 21,417 voters. Not only that, when it matters, which is always, I have to show up for even the people who didn't vote for me. And I want even the people who didn't vote for me to still live in a constitutional democratic republic. I want that for them. I want that for these United States. And I need you to want that for us too. And so what does a no vote mean? A no vote means that Virginia just keeps existing in the framework, and the temporary proposed changes that we have don't happen. And the current system remains in place. And politically, the people against it telling you to vote no are going to argue that voting is the only way to stop politicians from reclaiming map-making power that Virginians deliberately limited a few years ago. Hold on, let me take them seriously, because I do. And I'm taking them seriously because they're taking themselves seriously. And we need to, because if we don't take them seriously, we lose. So what they're saying is, look, what the people who are saying no is like, let's just sit back and let's watch what happens, because what's going to happen is the politicians here are just going to keep redrawing maps. They're going to take that power. We already decided that we don't want the politicians to have that power. And they'll even say that temporary exception, because this is a temporary change, opens the door to that behavior that they tried to stop. That argument is real in its own way, right? Yes. And that's why I told you I had to sit with the fact that no matter what happens here, democracy is eroded in its own way. And no matter what, their argument is valid, but we have to figure out what is at stake and does it matter enough for you. Here's the part that I need you as people to understand. Okay? Seriously, I need you to understand. The deepest lie in politics is not always the thing that is technically false. Okay? I'm going to say that again. The deepest lie in politics is not always the thing that is technically false. Sometimes the lie is framing. Sometimes people are lying to frame. If somebody tells you that this is just about fairness, asked about fairness for who? If somebody tells you it's just about stopping gerrymandering, ask why they're comfortable with ignoring in Texas what's happening in Texas, in North Carolina, in Missouri, and in Ohio. Ask them. If somebody tells you this is just a partisan hypocrisy, tell them I guess I'm not mad. If somebody tells you this is just because hypocrisy is a real word, because I'm using it, right? If somebody tells you that this is just partisan hypocrisy, tell them that hypocrisy is not the only issue. Power is. Power is often also an issue, because in real life where we live, a state can hate the game and still have to decide whether it's going to show up and get on the board. There has been documented backlash to to anti-redistricting mailers in Virginia. You guys have saw them that they're using civil rights and Jim Crow imagery, and multiple other outlets, multiple people and lawmakers and advocates have called those. They are misleading, they are inflammatory, and that much has been verified, right? We know that it is a former delegate that has allowed himself to be, actually, let me not even say allowed himself to be used. The former delegate is behind this, right? Like using the civil, it's misleading. What I could not independently verify for myself, what could not be independently verified, and BZ tried this, was that where the permit came from, and that's neither here nor there, right? Actually, it does matter. It does matter. I'm breaking down the blog that I put in my bio that you guys have access to. What could not be independently verified was the claim about where the source came from, being known as a national signature across states. That's like when you get a mailer and it tells you who that mailer is from. That wasn't like able to be verified. But that matters because when we're trying to educate, we don't want to or need extra stuff that's not all that's making things hot. Okay. Some opposition in Virginia has, used this inner imagery, and it makes me angry to push a no vote. And that's we should not be. This is. I'm so frustrated. I can just tell you, I'm just so frustrated by this, because what we have done politically is created, and this is both parties have created low information voters and have the expectation that people should not dig a little. And what that does for voters, it makes them more susceptible to false information. And that can be to one's advantage, right? If I was the kind of politician that just wanted you to trust me all the time and not double back and make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, then you being a low information voter helps me. But in this case, that low information, people are just believing what they see and not looking beyond, asking the why. And that's why we're sitting in a place where we need all hands on deck to help us get the word out, because this referendum needs to go our way. So here's where I'm landing. I am not asking people to be gullible for Democrats. That is not what I'm asking. I am not asking people to pretend politicians suddenly became pure. That's not what I'm asking. I am also not asking people to clap because somebody put a ballot question in front of us. That's not what I'm asking. Any of that. Not asking for big ups because, we did better than the rest of them. That's not what I'm asking for. What I'm asking you people to is understand this moment. Understand this moment, because the moment is this. Other states have already shown a willingness to redraw lines midstream to gain an advantage in Congress. Texas did it. North Carolina did it. Missouri did it. Ohio changed its maps to California, answered through a statewide vote. Virginia is now asking its voters whether we should answer to. Should we answer? That means this referendum is not just about whether you like Democrats or you like Republicans. It's about whether you understand that refusing to engage is also a decision, and usually not a neutral one. It is not a neutral one. So here is my civic warning. Right. Do not confuse being tired with being above it. Don't confuse those two. I do not want you to confuse disgust with discernment, right? Because I am disgusted too, but I also have a level of clarity from where I'm sitting. Don't confuse disgust with discernment. Don't let people weaponize your frustration into your surrender, because that is what too much political messaging is designed to do. Okay? Not to inform you, but to exhaust you. Not to sort of sharpen your judgment, but to make you throw your hands up and say, all of them bad, while somebody else loudly rules at the federal level this entire country unilaterally, having the legislative branch and the judicial branch and the executive branch. They all bad. And let me tell you, they are counting on that. They are counting on that. And by they, I mean the sitting president, his architects of Project 2025, those who are afraid to hold him accountable. They're counting on all of that. They're counting on your fatigue. They're counting on you just saying they all bad and I'm going to sit them out. But there is an assignment here, y'all. There is an assignment. I need you to read the ballot for your goddamn self. The question, you can find the question online. Know that Virginia has 11 congressional districts. Know that the amendment is temporary and tied to the upcoming elections, with the regular system being rescheduled to resume at the next census. No, right? Because doers want to be in the no. Know that the fight is large, is part of a larger national redistricting battle that has already affected multiple states. Know that the referendum gives you a vote on the change, but it does not remove your duty to question the people drawing the maps. That is still your job. You can still hold us accountable. And the reality is I want you to know this above all. Democracy is not self-executing. Fairness is not automatic. And representation is too precious to hand over to slogans, to mailers, or lazy ass analysis. You do not have to be partisan to be alert. You do not have to be pleased to be present. You do not have to like the players to understand the stakes. That is what this is about. That my fellow neighbors, like, that is what the morning dew is about. Is I don't expect to come on here and you to love everything that I say. That's not going to happen. I don't expect my colleagues to fall in line and think and agree with each other all the goddamn time. That is not the case. What is true is that there are so many competing interests telling us, don't be alert, don't be present, don't know what's at stake. Just give in, just be tired, just like that's some bullshit. I yearn to one day be a grandparent. I do. And it's so weird in this moment. I really want it. But I also mourn what is happening in the world and the challenges that my children will face. My nephews, children that I gave birth to and children that I did not. The children belong to all of us. But I also know that in these United States, for my people, and I can only I think, identify with the struggle of what I've seen documented for Black folks. And at one point, to be quite frank, it was for Irish folks because they were not allowed to be white. For Italian folks because they were not. They were claimed to be like Black folks. For people who have struggled in these United States to ensure that the Constitution lives up to what it says, to ensure that the Constitution meant the words and not just the interpretation of few, that they have been fighting all these years just for Delegate Jackie Hope Glass to be able to sit in this seat and tell you, go fucking vote yes. Do you know what I mean? I know that they must have felt hopeless. Those that were in bondage, I can't imagine the hopelessness that was around them whilst they still were pushing forward, while everybody else around was like, man, we should just take the cards we were dealt, man. And it is really hard. And I know this because I feel it too. What I know is that it is hard to start talking about states' rights in a place where states' rights was what caused a civil war. And it makes me question, are we on the brink of a civil war? We are not the America that we used to be on a global stage, and we are not going back to that any time soon. That is a reality. The damage that has been done and will continue to be done with this current administration. And again, I'm saying this to you, you don't have to be partisan to be alert and aware of what the implications and the decisions of this executive branch, with their hand over the mouths of the legislative branch and their hands around the necks of the judicial branch of government. What they are doing is a monumental change in the perceptions of America. So I need you to not fold because of the perceptions and get some perspective about how we not keep going down this path. And I need you to vote yes. Period. I'm going to go to the comments and then I'm going to get my butt out of here. Okay. Yeah, we're trying, Cousin Ed. We're trying to give hope. Hope is my middle name. I'm telling you, my dad wanted to name me Faith Hope Glass, Jackson. That was my maiden name. And my mama said, you got to pick one. And he chose Hope. And I've always thought about why he chose Hope over Faith, and not that one is better than other, but there was a reason that he chose Hope. It's something that I have committed in my life to not losing ever. I find something to hang on to. I'm going back through the comments, y'all. David James, is going to be interesting to see how the governor handles the signing of some of the controversial bills and the impact on redistricting vote. April 13th is coming real quick. Yeah, that's coming real quick. And like I said, the last day to vote is going to be April 21st. So y'all need to, you got to go. Y'all got to talk to y'all people. You can get to people faster than I can. I love Daryl. I hope I'm saying that Derry Levon Williams. I hope I'm saying that right. Let's stop playing checkers in a chess max. Yeah. Or just get on the board. Just get on the goddamn board, right? Get on the board. Know the game. Oh, I love this, Dylan. Let's organize street by street, state by state. And that's what we're trying to do. The difference, and I need to underscore the difference, is that we are giving people the opportunity this is not a unilateral decision by the General Assembly. We've done the part that we're responsible for. And I hope that people understand what that means for us. It wasn't a light decision, but we do need to organize. I need to get you out there. Ricky said, we need to get you on The View. No, we just going to stay right, right here. Tasha, Ed, I love you too. Yeah, this is spreading. More states will need to know this information if it comes their way. Yeah, but states have have that luxury or that right to decide if they want to do this. And so other states are going to have to make a decision. It has a large amount of political implications, right? The thing about doing something like this is that you open yourself up for critique. So right now, what the Democratic Party is doing, what we're doing is going to open us up for critique. Like, we love gerrymandering, we love blah blah blah, like all these things. It is going to open it up, but I need people to understand the difference between the two. And that's why I said that that's do not confuse discuss with discernment. I need you to understand the moment that we're in and what happens if we don't take some level of action. This is it's more than just singing and I guess the Jackie version is that it's more than just pointing at the Dems. It's more than just pointing at it's more than that. This is really what happens to are we to be the United States of America or the United Countries of America ruled by leader Trump? Because that is the end goal. I'm not just, if we don't get with that reality like that, it's not like they're hiding these things from us. And it's hard. So hey, I want to go teach. So if I'll go to any government class, I don't believe that they'll allow me to talk about, the ballot issue in that way, because that would be right. But I do love going into classrooms and teaching the three branches of government. So if you do have a classroom, I do it all the time. I've been to public schools, private schools, and I've got a whole lesson plan that I put together that'll allow me to teach. Hey, I see you. Good morning, the Elaine. How are you? Okay, so he said when Youngkin went hard against cannabis vetoes last year with the recreational sale, I saw several Republican or no voters decide to vote for Spanberger. Will this reverse happen with the firearm bill? I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it with the assault. I don't doubt it. I mean, and that's the way the pendulum swings, is that I imagine some people will see this as some people see it as specifically the firearms piece, see it as a constitutional overreach. Some of it may stand in court, some of it may not. I mean, that's the reality of it. But what I don't, even with where I stood on it, right, my problems and the holes that I also poked in the bill with how we execute. And what are we addressing, either lethality or instances? There's still some things about enforcement and incidences that need to be looked at, period. Like, I get the lethality. I get the magazine piece with the lethality, but there are people who are going to take this as a direct, slap in the face, but also understand where many people in the room are coming from who have been a part of mass shootings, who have watched this, who have children. I have children. I get that, the governor came up through Mom's Demand. Like, she's a huge advocate. So the expectation, those who switch their vote away from Youngkin, away from the Republican Party to Governor Spanberger over cannabis, kind of should have known where she stood on that piece. And this is why being a single issue voter is an interesting thing. Not interesting. I think it's necessary to have your line. But if you knew that about her, you probably should have known that she was going to want to do some gun reform off top, as a person who was very active in that. And I had to hold that in hands too. While I have my thoughts and interests and on certain things, I recognize coming in that was going to be a part of the agenda. Right. Because that's what she came up in, what her excellency came up in, and that's what that is. It's like not knowing that I'm not going to advocate for kids in schools, man. Like, that's what I came up in. I came up dealing with kids at school and making sure their quality of life is right. He said, I hope she is very thoughtful in her explanation of signing it. I hope it makes sense. Yeah. I think sometimes that's the missing piece for us and that's not the reflection of the governor. She's getting her footing. Her team is getting her footing. They came in, they took over right? The executive branch while session is happening, which I can't imagine. I didn't think about that the first year I was here because I was just kind of in the fray, but you're coming in and you hit the ground running because legislative session is happening and you got to be cognizant of what's coming up. That's real. So I don't know that there is even a transition time. However, friends, I am grateful. I'm grateful to have had this time with you. I'm looking forward to what it is that we have to do. I guess I'll leave you with some parting words as we go off on our Thursday. Let's make it when we do not when, okay, we do not get to sleep through the making of history. And I'm going to end with this and I'm going to cut off right after that. I ain't going to take no more questions, no more nothing, because I need to get myself to work. But the reality, or at least the way I would say, is that we don't get to sleep through the making of history and then complain about the shaping of the morning. This is the work. To read deeper than a headline, to think longer than a slogan, to love our people enough to tell them the truth, even when it's complicated. Because for me, democracy is not a door you lock once. It is a house that you keep tending to. It is a porch light left on, a hinge that you check twice, a window, a window that watches the storm. So whatever you do not surrender your discernment for anyone. Do not hand your power into a level of panic or someone's performance or propaganda, right? Like, because everything proper, no propaganda. I love 2 Chainz. I need you to stay awake, stay teachable, and stay difficult to deceive. And when you talk or when you walk into the booth, whenever you choose to do that, and if you've already done it, when you walk into the booth, do it like somebody who knows. Somebody who knows that freedom is not just inherited, it is practice. Okay? That is the morning dew. It's been lovely this time with you. I'm Delegate Jackie Hope Glass, Mama, Navy vet, certified doer, and the laced up legislator for the House of Delegates, 93rd District. Happy, honored to serve. Again, this is the morning dew where doers get more done. Don't sue me, Home Depot. Drink water, you're a flower, all right? You're a living thing, and be kind to yourself. See y'all. Hey, hold on. I'm going to shout you out. I said I wasn't going to do nothing else. Go read his article. Good morning. That BZ Marcelo's article is up on my my bio. It's going to be a beautiful day today. Drink water, pick up some litter. Yes, pick up some litter. Consider your words, discernment. All right, peace out, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, all of that. Salud.